Hey guys, we are back to watch some of the morning sentencing with Judge Anzalone. Let's see what happens.
Mr. Murphy, can you hear me?
Morning, yes, I can.
All right, so let me Katie Burnett, Paul, Lois. That is all right, Mr. Paul and Mr. Lewis. I
Yes.
let you in by mistake, so give me another minute. You're next, though. All right. All right. So, Corinne Campbell, can I ask what case you're here for, please?
Doug Bice.
Okay, very good. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Douglas Henry Bice, file number 22-20979FH and 22-21175FH. This is a date time set for sentencing in this matter. I have Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Mr. Bice. And I also have Katie Burnett, Corinne Campbell.
Go on.
Ms. Burnett, what?
Yes.
Okay, and they are here to observe Mr. Murphy, Mr. Burnett, or Mr. Bice failed to appear for his PSI interview on January 9th of 2023 at 9 a.m. Attempts were made to contact him by the Michigan Department of Corrections, and he did not respond to any further phone calls or texts. Sentencing was originally set for February 23rd of 2023, which was the day we had that big power outage. And so it was adjourned to today. So I do have that from the Michigan Department of Corrections as well as victim impact statements, but Mr. Murphy, Mr. Bice has not appeared. Have you been able to have contact with Mr. Bice?
So first, I think that the court had ordered that he appear or he was going to appear in person. I forgot if it was ordered or if he requested. I had talked with him a few days before the 23rd about the fact that he had lost his phone and needed to get a new phone. I told him to go and contact the probation department because obviously he needed to get that done. I didn't know what would happen on the 23rd, but I just told him to appear and we'd figure it out. I haven't heard from him since then. So I can't give any more information than that. Obviously, like I said, I had contact with him, I think the 21st, February 21st. That was the last time though I've had contact with him.
Judge, he did call me the day before sentencing. We weren't able to get the PSI done.
Okay. Did you reschedule it?
I have not. I was just waiting for this date.
Have you heard from him again?
No.
All right.
Because then he didn't show up today. I was talking to him today.
Okay. So notice was mailed to him to appear today. He's failed to appear. I'm going to issue a bench warrant for his arrest for failure to appear. And I'm going to set bond on file number 22-20979FH at $25,000 cash as surety on each count for a total of $50,000 cash as surety. And then on file number 22-21175FH, there are two counts. I'll set bond at $25,000 cash as surety on that file for a total of $50,000 on that file for each count. So a total of $50,000. Mr. Murphy, if you are able to reach Mr. Bice, I would advise him to report to the courthouse. All right.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Murphy, on that file. And Ms. Campbell and Ms. Burnett, I am sorry, but stay in contact with the prosecutor's office to get information on any updated dates. All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Murphy, let's see what's that. Ms. Adams, if I could get Mr. Swartz from the jail, please.
Okay.
And let's see what she got. Okay, I can call Contreras. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Angelica Maria Contreras, file number 22-21026FH. I have Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Ms. Contreras. This is the date and time set for sentencing in this matter. It was originally set for sentencing on February 24th of 2023. And the courthouse was actually closed because it was out of power. So a re-notice was mailed to her to appear for today's sentencing. Ms. Contreras did fail to appear today, either in person or via Zoom. I do have a pre-sentence report that was prepared, but I do have a letter from Darren Coast, who is our pretrial services coordinator. She had a show cause scheduled for February 24th of 2023 as well as sentencing for missing drug screens. Our concern is that she is currently using methamphetamine and heroin and not testing as required. I will, on the contempt of court, issue a bench warrant for failure to appear. Set bond in the amount of $25,000 cash as surety. And I will issue a bench warrant for failure to appear for sentencing today and set bond in the amount of $50,000 cash as surety. Mr. Murphy, obviously, if you're able to reach Ms. Contreras, we can bring her in and get her sentencing taken care of. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And yes.
So was that a total of 75,000 on that file?
Right, 50 on the underlying file and 25 on the contempt of court. All right, thank you. All right. So, waiting for your people from the jail, and I got the jail. Mr. Myers.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
That was the scariest drive I've ever been on.
From the city?
I came from Monroe.
Oh, you're not. No. All right. Hi, who do I have at the jail, please?
Scott Swartz.
All right, let me grab your file.
Your Honor, I'm gonna need a breakout session with him, please.
Not a problem. All right. This is in the matter of people of the state of Michigan versus Scott Richard Swartz. We have multiple files. I have file number 2022-21052FH. I will note that that file will be nully processed today. I also have file number 2022-21183FH, 2022-21185FH, and 2022-21186FH. Let me bring in the individuals who are here to make a statement. All right, Mr. Paul and Mr. Lewis, we are on the record with Mr. Swartz. His attorney has asked for a breakout room. So procedurally at this point, I'll give him a breakout room with his attorney, and I will afford both of you an opportunity to speak if you want once we start the sentencing. So, all right, so Mr. Murphy.
So she's putting them into breakout rooms right now. It looks like we had 2 no-shows there. One of the guys didn't show up for his pre-sentencing investigation. That's what a PSI stands for. And then the other person didn't show up today to their sentencing. So that's, gosh, I would say not good. We have some victims here to speak on this sentencing, but the defendant is in with his lawyer right now. Yeah. Let me go ahead and pull back in the feed from the judge, and we'll see what's going on.
All right, so, Mr. Myers, did you want Miss Madrid in person?
It doesn't matter.
All right, so Miss Adams, was Miss Madrid going to Zoom in then?
I didn't get a response, but I will call and double check.
All right, Mr. Malaro, I have, hang on a minute. Jacob Locke, I have Jacob Locke.
Yes,
Okay.
I have him as well, Judge.
We're on a roll. All right. All right, Mr. Luck, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jacob Matthew Luck. This is a date and time set for sentencing in this matter. Mr. Malaro, did you receive a copy of the district court recommendation on this file?
I did.
All right. Now, Mr. Malaro, we had an opportunity to review that with Mr. Luck.
I have.
Oh, okay. And all right, so Mr. Luck, have you had an opportunity to read and review the pre-sentence report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had an opportunity to discuss the pre-sentence report with Mr. Malaro?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Malaro as your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Malaro, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in the pre-sentence report?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Before the court passes sentence, do you wish to say anything on his behalf?
Actually, Judge, there is a correction on the report. I think
Okay.
his address needs to be updated.
I don't want his address on the record.
I know, I'm not saying, I'm not going to say it, I'm just saying it needs to be updated, that's all.
Okay, so Mr. Luck, you're currently on probation with Ms. Teskey. Make sure that she has your correct address, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sure she does, but all right, very good. Thank you, Mr. Malaro.
Other than that, nothing further, nothing on the corrections of the report.
Okay, is there anything you'd like to say further on behalf of Mr. Luck?
Your Honor, talking to Mr. Luck, he indicates to me he's still in drug court. He's doing very well. He's appreciative of having the opportunity. The recommendation is for him to continue in the drug court. We'd ask the court to follow that recommendation.
Mr. Luck, anything you want to say on your own behalf?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Luck, you're doing very well right now, and I'm glad to see that. So in determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of your offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been set upon the record at this hearing. The criteria and reasons for the sentences or the sentence are the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication for the law, and protection of society. It's a sentence of the court that you will pay a $300 fine, $50 in state costs, and a $75 crime victim rights fee. I'm not going to put you on district court probation because I've already got you on probation, Mr. Luck, but I do have to assess the fines and costs. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then I'm going to order that you need to pay those, as you're paying off your fines and costs in circuit court. I'm not going to order the $750 in court costs or the $30 supervision fee because I'm not putting you on probation. All right, Jacob, you're
Yes,
doing
Your Honor.
really well right now, and I'm I'm really proud of you for that, and I want you to keep up the good work, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Luck, we're gonna mail to you 3 copies of your notice of right to appellate review. You're gonna get that and a self-addressed stamped envelope back to me. I want you to sign 1 copy where it's highlighted or marked and put the date on it and mail that back to me in the envelope with the stamp in it, or bring it to me next Thursday when you come to drug court, whatever. And then the other 2 copies are for you. If you wish to appeal your sentence, you would fill out the information on those forms and mail them to the address listed on the form within 42 days. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Luck, I'll see you next Thursday, okay?
Yep. You have a good day.
You too, thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was actually really nice to see. I love hearing judges say that they're proud of people or that they're really happy with their progress, because it doesn't happen very often and it means a lot. So I wish all the luck to Mr. Luck as he continues on his recovery in drug court. You have to try and catch drug court on Thursdays now, apparently. Anyways, I will catch the rest of this video. Well, let's just finish it and we'll see what we've got, and we'll recap at the end.
All right, Mr. Murphy, I did misspeak. I didn't realize there were 2 PSIs, so I apologize for that. On the file number 22-21052FH, that is a noli pros. That's actually, it was a separate PSI and I missed that. I apologize. Okay, so.
John, we received both of those PSI just to clarify for the record.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Mr. Murphy, have you acknowledged receipt of the PSI? Have you had an opportunity to meet with your client now?
Yes, John, thank you for that breakout session.
All right, so Mr. Swartz, have you had an opportunity to read and review the pre-sentence report?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had an opportunity now to discuss that with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Murphy, in the pre-sentence, is there any, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in these pre-sentence reports?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Is this a double one? All right. Does the pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exists any known constitutional defect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. On all of these files, hold on a second. Hold on, I'm going to search warrant first. Okay, so the probation department has computed the minimum sentencing guidelines to be 14 to 29 months on all of these counts. Do you agree with that computation of guidelines?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. So at this time, Mr. Murphy, I'm going to ask Mr. Paul first. So David Paul, is there anything you'd like to say today before I pass sentence?
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yeah, the whole incident really caused quite a bit of grief, especially for me because my wallet was stolen with all ID and everything else involved in it. And getting all of that replaced and still knowing that it's still out there drifting around somewhere because I haven't been able to get it all back yet. It's really caused an awful lot of grief and a lot of anxiety. And I guess I'll just leave it at that for now.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Mr. Lewis, your name is Warren Lewis. Is there anything you'd like to say, sir?
Yeah, there is. It's just, this whole incident has just caused so much, like Dave said, so much grief and the disregard for personal property that this man has. using my truck to steal all kinds of other things that, caused people all kinds of grief over the devastation of being in another country and having all this happen, and the months and months and months it's taken to get everything caught up. It's just been really hard on us.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Murphy, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client, Mr. Schwartz?
Yes, Your Honor. In regards to this matter, Mr. Schwartz, quite frankly, as soon as I came into contact with regard to this case, he was wanting to take responsibility, get the case worked out. He understood that there are victims here. He understood his actions cause a lot of pain and suffering to those victims, and he wanted to try to make good as soon as he can start on the restitution he knows he was going to owe. As you can see, Your Honor, Mr. Schwartz has some issues. Quite frankly, as he said in the PSI, in his statement, he fell back into a lifestyle with drugs and chaos. And quite frankly, obviously, that doesn't justify or excuse the impact on the victims, but it is unfortunately what fueled the behavior here. He does deeply regret what had happened. He thinks, he's thankful that nothing worse was to happen in regards to any incident with any person. He does, again, as I was speaking with him the entire time, he wanted to take responsibility and move forward with the cases. So I'd ask the court to consider in this matter. I understand that the recommendation is for 2 years and 5 months to 5 years in incarceration. Considering that the guidelines allow for 14 on, I'd ask the court to consider sentencing towards the lower end of the guideline range here. Maybe something like 16 months incarceration or something like that, with probation moving forward. Because quite frankly, I think at this matter, any further incarceration is purely going to serve. Obviously, it'll serve to punish Mr. Schwartz, but it's not going to help Mr. Schwartz get along with getting out of life to where he can pay back restitution and make whole as what he can in this matter. And so obviously, I think that's what we want to do as soon as we can is to make restitution in this matter. So again, if Mr. Schwartz, long time of incarceration is going to preclude him from being able to do that. So I'd ask the court to consider the low end of the guideline range here. And just again, Mr. Schwartz does, again, since from the very beginning of the case, he deeply regrets what had happened, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Schwartz, anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
Yes, I would like to apologize to the victims, Mr. Lewis and Mr. Paul. I wish we could see them in person and, man to man, and apologize to you both and everybody else involved in this situation. Words don't mean nothing to you guys, and I get that. And the only thing that means anything is actions, and changing as I go on. I would like to do, whatever punishment gets handed down to me, I deserve it, no matter what it is. And once again, I do apologize, and I will do everything I can to pay you guys back. And it was a very selfish and childish actions. I was not thinking of anybody else besides me and my ego and everything else. So I apologize.
All right. In determining the appropriate sentence in these cases, the court has considered the seriousness of the offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been said upon the record at this hearing today. The criteria and reasons for the sentence are the nature and gravity of the offenses, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication for the law and the protection of society.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure the record was clear. I think that the jail credit should be 192 days credit to this point. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So when I look at your record, you have well over 21 police contacts and charges, from misdemeanor traffic offenses, drunk driving, domestic violence, and starting in 2020, you started picking up some theft offenses, alcohol and drugs. So obviously you have a major issue from Michigan to Oklahoma, it looks like, but Lucas County. So your record definitely is showing that. Is that current warrant? Looks like you have a warrant out of Wayne County too. Your life is pretty much spiraling out of control. And You need something to help you wake up. So, on file number 22-21052FH, it's a sentence of court that you will serve 29 to 60 months with the Michigan Department of Corrections. We'll give you credit for time served of 192 days. We'll order restitution in the amount of $4,200, $130 crime victim rights fee, and $68 in state costs. On file number 2022-21183FH, sentence of the court that you will serve 29 to 60 months with the Michigan Department of Corrections. I'll give you credit for 192 days served. There's a $130 crime victim rights fee and $68 in state costs. File number 2022-21185FH. It's a sentence of the court that you will serve 29 to 60 months with the Michigan Department of Corrections. We'll give you credit for 192 days served. I'll order restitution in the amount of $600, crime victim rights fee in the amount of $130 and $68 in state costs. On file number 2022-21186FH, it's a sentence of the court that you will serve 29 to 60 months with the Michigan Department of Corrections with credit for time served for 192 days. Restitution will be in the amount of $350, $130 crime victim rights fee, and $68 in state costs. And I believe these are all concurrent, Mr. Moore.
Yes, all concurrent.
All right, so I'm gonna write that in. Mr. Schwartz, this is time to evaluate. Your life's been spiraling out of control, so you need to figure out, take that time and engage in counseling classes through MDOC and figure out if you want to spend the rest of your life in prison or you want to make a turnaround. You do have the right to appeal this sentence. We're going to send over to the jail 3 copies on each file, so I apologize for that. But there will be 3 copies of your notice of appellate rights on each of the files. 1 copy you need to initial and date just to acknowledge you received it. That'll come back and become a part of the file. The other copies are for you. If you wish to appeal your sentence, you would fill out the information on the form and mail it to the address listed on the form within 42 days. Do you have any questions, Mr. Schwartz?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you, Mr. Wills.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Schwartz.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. You have a good day.
Thank you. And Miss Adams, you can let them know we'll take Miss Madrid however we can get her.
Judge, she still wants to be in person, so they're working on it.
Awesome.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Good weather this morning. All right.
Well, that was interesting. 29 to 60 months she sentenced him, concurrent for all of those offenses, theft offenses, it looks like. You could see one of the victims surprised at some of the previous charges that the defendant had. I don't know what the underlying offense was, but that seems like a long time in prison for me. But don't do the crime if you can't do the time, I suppose, is the lesson there. Yeah, 29 to 60 months. I liked when she said, your life is basically spiraling out of control. And he acknowledged that. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully he can spend some time reflecting and getting some skills so that when he gets let out in 29 to 60 months, he will be in a better position to care for himself. So anyways, thanks for catching court with me today in my kitchen, and I will catch you next time. Bye.